From UFOs to psychic powers and government conspiracies, history is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now, or learn the stuff they don't want you to know.
Ralphie K. writes to us and says, "Esteemed colleagues in plumbing the Transmundane, please find a letter attached. It explains everything. We come in peace. Afraid be not do please. Hail Eris. All hail Discordia."
That sounds familiar. Hail Eris. I swear I've heard that before. And Discordia... It's not Discworld. That was a whole other thing, but Discordia.
So this came with an attachment, a letter attached that we both were a little hesitant about diving into. We both I think did a preview of the message. Maybe compartmentalized before opening it. And when we opened it, I don't know about you, Matt, but I'm very glad we did so because we got this wonderful little letter we wanted to share with you. It's a bit thorough. So I propose that we split the duties up here. We toss the text back and forth between ourselves, and then, pause as needed for explanations. First explanation before we begin. What is Discordianism? It's, according to Adam Gorightly, it was founded as a parody religion. Adam Gorightly writes a lot about fringe thought and research. It encourages the worship of Eris, a Greek goddess. It's Eris in Greek, and it's Discordia in Latin. So there's a lot of strange stuff we're about to dive into. We're on the edge of the pool, folks. So here we go. Let's start with let's start at the top, and as the Mad Hatter says, we'll start at the beginning. We'll go through the middle, and we'll stop at the end.
Oh, that's perfect.
Great. All right. So Ralphie writes, "From the Absurdist Historian's Army, an EOOTLG alum affiliate, to the host of Stuff They Don't Want You to Know. By name they are," and then it has our three names, and then
what is the :H::M::, and then your name. What is that?
I am not familiar with a lot of these abbreviations either.
Okay.
Right Honorable.
The Right and Honorable
I don't know.
Mr. Ben Bolin?
It's weird. It's weird. I noticed. Did you notice they didn't put the M on every name?
Oh, yeah. You are the only Mr.
Well, maybe. We don't know.
Master?
I don't know. It would be misleading. So we've already stopped. We're like in the intro.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And we're already going, what's going on? Please let us know what the RHM means. We are not intimately familiar with this school of thought. So Ralphie says, "Esteemed colleagues in Transmundane research," there we go. The callback worked.
Cool.
"Allow us to begin with introductions. I have countless names and countless faces. You might call me a denizen of the space exterior to reality, though I inhabit a flesh suit at present. These days I wear a red hat and am a quite real and practical magician."
Ooh. Well, that's amazing. And they continue, "I find your work fascinating, particularly your collective talent for aphorism. We at the AHA are also transfixed by the inexplicable, the hyper-novel, the super-real, the transmundane. Yes, in particular, R.H. Boland's adage that the great ideas are the force that changes the world. And as the branch of the illuminated conspiracy, your collective insistence on conspiracy realism is refreshing, to say the least." Great ideas, Ben, are the force that changes the world, and I couldn't agree more.
Well, it appears that we're being buttered up for something, Matt.
I know.
All right, let's continue. Yes, esteemed colleagues, we, the Absurdist Historians Army, are an affiliate branch of the Esoteric Order of the Laughing God, itself a branch of the Rosicrucian Order of Western Tantra. Laughing God, love it, love it. We are the present representatives of the radical DZOGCHEN, Dzogchen Vajrayana discipline of the Ram Nyingma Arat in the southwestern United States for our sins. I wonder if that's, okay. And then they continue, the Scarlet Lodge of Force, the Crimson Hood, or the Red Hats. We seek to directly assault the structural notions of global fascism through art, conversation, and armed confrontation if necessary.
Ooh.
We will kill the idea without touching the body that thinks it.
Fascinating. Assaulting the structural notions of global fascism through art, conversation, and armed confrontation if necessary.
Yeah, just throw that one in there. Yeah, just a dash of that.
Okay, okay, we see you. And then they continue, in short, we see what you see. It is in our house now, and we must find it and do now what we can. We practice a wide range of tactics, primarily in the realm of culture jamming and idea combat. God, I love this, Ben. Okay, continuing. But this is a branch of what is referred to as Operation GOTB. We have a document regarding higher metaphysics, which would be more of a definite interest to you, and would be happy to send a copy with no strings attached. Let me just say, go ahead and send it, please.
Mm-hmm. Send it. Also, the skeptic in me does not believe that there are no strings attached, because everything is connected. And is
this not culture jamming in its own right in some way?
Mm-hmm.
Are you not jamming the culture?
Oh, we're a culture jam band. Us and this person. So they go on to say, the only reason we have not done so with this letter is due to the general objection of sending unsolicited documents to filmmakers or artists for obvious reasons. However, we explicitly intend, find your intention, for you to make up your mind what we have with, as said, no strings or implications attached. We intend also to contact the RHM, there it is again, Robert Evans, but he is comparatively difficult to reach for clear reasons. If our esteemed colleagues would extend to him our invitation as well, it would be of great assistance, and we would be most grateful. Belief is not a requirement to experience the mysteries. So they want us to reach out to Rob?
Well, Rob, this is us reaching out to you. Can you hear us through the airwaves or the pod waves, whatever these things are? Robert, this is interesting stuff. What do you think?
He is doing great work, by the way. I can't say enough about him.
Working his butt off, too. You see how many shows he's got right now?
Mm-hmm. And dear listeners, highly recommend all of them. We should probably have him on the show at some point, but to our wonderful correspondent, we're so glad to hear that you are aware of and supportive of the work
of RHM Robert Evans.
And so now our author goes on to give us a series of questions.
Oh, yes. In fact, they say, allow me to pose a series of questions. Who am I? Before you immediately read my signature, who am I without that context? Can you guess my name? I am, if it helps, pleased to meet you all, albeit in absentia. What is anything without its context? Do you see how I just became myself by context? Does anything have any definability at all without a comparison? Light and dark, yes. The light must be bright enough to reveal the dark, and the dark must be deep enough for light to truly appear. Well, let us speak of chaos.
I got some chills. That's an excellent read, Matt.
It sounds like it's writing that perfect line between a supervillain and a superhero. It's like they're right there. They're the anti-hero that is exploring the edge through counter I don't know. Let's just talk about chaos, Ben.
Okay, chaos. So look around, the letter continues. What is the most abundant thing? What abounds in every place, regardless of what else abounds upon it? What, indeed, is the abounder, so to speak? It is chaos. Unmanifest it is, yes? And what of its opposite? Can it be said to have one? Perhaps anti-generation, yes? Would we call that hate or hunger? Maybe the two together? We call it malice. But does chaos not contain all within it, along with all's negation as well? Then malice must balance within the formula, if we model it as one. Yes. I love how it also, writing style-wise, I love how at the end of some, larger conclusions, there's just a comma, yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to start writing that way.
It sounds good. Yes. So then what is order? Not the opposite of chaos, as pedestrian philosophy would have it. The opposite of order is disorder, the actual dipole, defining the rotive motion of neophobia and neophilia. That is being fear of our fixation on change. It is evident neither is correct entirely, but that one must stand in the middle of a bridge between the two islands, yes. Over all is the overall of chaos, nested within it, the hodge and the podge, the anaristic and the aristic, order, disorder, the halves of chaos undivided. It is the tension of hodge and podge that makes this the world of 10,000 things. Truly, do many things come to pass?
And in closing, our author says this is an invitation into the highest mystery. Again, interesting wording here. Afraid be, do, please not. Instructions to continue correspondence. And then a very direct first person closing here. I promise I am not a serial killer or a stalker. I mean absolutely no harm. It's only an invitation. It may be refused with no offense taken. I think any invitation should be something people can refuse with no offense taken. Under this letter, or that part of the letter, it ends with the eschaton has been immanentized, and then we see writing in red. Help me out, Matt. That's definitely red, right?
That is red, yes.
Okay.
And it also appears to be German. Am I incorrect here?
I believe you're correct, yeah.
Or wait. Yeah, I'm seeing some. It looks German to me. Unless we're going. Oh wait, it's Hail Eris, Hail Hecate.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Ave Infinitum Rubum Rex. Interesting. Are they just trying to get us to say these things on air, Ben?
Right. Yeah. Maybe to amplify the spell.
Uh-oh.
Now, Matt, as you pointed out, some parts of this letter are in a different language. And one of those languages is German. We had an interesting discussion off mic about magic as weaponized psychology and whether we are being asked to, in some way, amplify a magical working by reading these phrases on the air. In our reasoning, we don't want to accidentally participate in a spell, whether or not you believe in them. We certainly don't want to accidentally draw in you, our fellow conspiracy realist, as part of outwitting members of a spell. So we figured we would read the English translation of some of these phrases. And that probably won't have the same effect, right? If I understand this correctly.
One hopes that this was not anticipated, right?
Yes. Ooh, well done, Matt. Okay, so, all right, let's do it, though. What do you think? You want to hear the English?
Why don't you do one? I'll do the middle one, and then you do the last one. Is that okay?
Okay. All right. Just from that top phrase?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So the first phrase is eternal flower power.
Eternal acid power? Is that what you're getting? That's what I'm seeing?
Mm-hmm. And the last one is I see the fourth color.
Oh, you do? You
Which
would
is
be
great,
the
'cause
one.
I'm partially colorblind. I need all the colors I can get. So we looked in, and it doesn't seem like anything malevolent. You know what I mean?
No.
They're great little, observations, aphorisms, concepts. Everything is true. Nothing is permitted. Will that stop you? Have you ever noticed that the only things you notice are the things you notice you just did?
Dude, I love that. Again, afraid B. Do not please. But can I read the next part here? It says, one day you will read this message and wonder at how much has changed. We are the Illuminati. Curiously, that statement, we are the Illuminati, is in all caps except for the A and R of R.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben, I am not familiar with that practice of spelling it in that way or writing it in that way. That's certainly new to me. And throughout this entire thing, I feel like such a novice in all of the Transmundane. I need to level up a lot. Wow.
I'm fully on board. This is so weird. This seems kind of cool. I'm fascinated. I've seen some stuff like this before, but not addressed specifically to us. So
exactly,
we're flattered. We're very flattered. So a real and practicing magician.
Yeah.
Our author identifies themselves as, meaning then that you have enacted what are sometimes described as magical works. Would love to hear examples of that. Would love to hear more explorations of this. I think for outsiders, one thing that becomes pretty confusing is the nature of what would be maybe called applied effect versus the more philosophical, metaphysical concerns and spiritual navigation. So I think seeing that together in a combined system can be confusing to a lot of people. But the first thing this reminded me of, Matt, because I am a relatively simple person, is the Illuminatus Trilogy. Do you remember these books?
I do. I certainly do. There are many references in here. In fact, correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, but I believe that phrase, oh Lord, let me pull the document back up. That phrase right towards the end there is ripped directly out of the Illuminatus Trilogy. The Blumenkraft part there, the flower power, is that not ripped from the Illuminatus Trilogy? I may be way off base.
Well, this Hail Discordia stuff is definitely in there. I don't know where they pulled it from, though.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But there are things in there like the 23 Enigma, which is the idea that 23 is a magical or somehow significant number. And in the Principia Discordia, which is kind of the religious text of the Discordian belief system, is written by Greg Hill and Carrie Wendell Thornley. In that, you'll see a claim about 23 that says all things happen in fives or are divisible by or are multiples of fives or are somehow indirectly or directly appropriate to five. That's the law of fives, and 23 is regarded as a corollary of that law because 2 + 3 = 5. That's the kind of territory we're diving into here.
Yes.
To be very clear. We could also say that the reason we have base 5 and base 10 kind of numbers is actually very simple. It's because that's the number of phalanges or digits we have.
Those phalanges, they've really just sent us, they've sent us on a path just because of these things, man.
Yes. Yep. Because of these now, if we all had 6 fingers, it would be we'd have like a base 12 kind of situation going on. It's pretty reasonable.
If for some reason we all had 6 fingers.
And do octopuses have like a base 8 reasoning?
Surely.
Or maybe not, because each arm has kind of its own brain. Anyway, that's an episode for another day. But this letter was such a refreshing surprise, and it's something that, you know, we always want to be honest with you folks when we don't understand something. It's something that's a little over my head. I didn't catch a lot of these references, especially given that there was a follow-up that is entirely not in an alphabetic language that would be familiar to a lot of people.
Well, now I'm just going to go down rabbit hole after rabbit hole of stuff that is included in this message, and I'm not going to stop for a long time. And really, I just want to learn more about the Scarlet Lodge of Force. Or the Crimson Hood. I feel like I'm aware of the Crimson Hood. But the Scarlet Lodge of Force, I'm going to learn as much as possible about.
Same, Matt. Hard same. Let us speak of case. Hard same.